Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a T-50-2. It's a Tier 6 Soviet premium light tank. It's located on the eastbourne of Sand River, and this one is under the command of SlyMeerkat, and he's been playing it so long he's got 3 marks on the barrel. Now, this little tank came as part of the well-deserved reward for being in the game for a very long time, so if you have been in the game a long time, you should have one automatically in your account for free, because Wargaming didn't charge for it. Now, it's got a 57mm gun, which is capable of doing 85 alpha, penetrating 118mm of armor with standard ammo, and with the APCR that goes up to 165, and it's got HE rounds as well. But you notice it's very top heavy. SlyMeerkat almost flipped it over there when he went around that corner too fast, and you have to watch out that you do that, because if you don't, you could end up on your side and then your teammates are going to have to recover for you. He's decided to move up. He hasn't been spotted yet. It's good. Okay, so he's getting spots on the enemy, and he's turned himself around so he can make a quick escape just in case the enemy does spot him. He spotted another enemy tanker, KD-1S, and he's marking these guys for the teammates. And in fact, it looks like Arty just got a big hit on the KD-1S because he's picked up 467 hit points of spotting assist. In fact, he's getting loads of spotting assist off these guys. Sly likes playing in third-person perspective because it allows him to see what's going on around him at all times, and it's very good actually, because some of the top players do that. They go to third person's perspective, and he's just quickly flipped into sniper view. I've been meaning to do a video showing how you should actually view people in third person mode for people who like to play light tanks, because obviously most of the games I play are Arty. But I do play occasionally in tank destroyers and light tanks. Not so much in medium tanks or heavy tanks for that matter, but occasionally I will. But there are ways and means of actually increasing your efficiency if you're doing some of the things that SlyMeerkat's doing at the moment, which is to stay in third person mode and just spot the enemy, then move your cursor over the enemy like that, and then hit the T key to request fire on targets. And you can see just by turning his mouse, he can actually look around at the enemy. Now, if you're in a TD and you don't want the vehicle to turn, all you do is you hold down your right hand mouse button and the vehicle will go, or you just press X to put the handbrake on. And he just spotted the death of that VK3601H. He's just spotted an T-34-85M moving up. He got spotted in that bush, and his sixth sense will have gone off, so obviously he realises that he's in trouble. So far he's managed to get 2,244 hit points of spotting assist, and that's now increasing because Arty just paid a visit to the T-34-85. Now, what can I tell you about the T-52? Well, it was designed to replace the T-26 in 1940. They only made one prototype, and it was built at the Kirov plant in Leningrad. And, well, of course, as you know, Leningrad was under siege by the Germans after 1941. That type is not firing specifically at Sly. He's actually firing directly over his head at people behind him. I don't think he knows where Sly is. You'd think that that type was trying to hit him, but if he was, then he would have fired a bit lower. And of course the curvature of the ground there means that they probably can't see exactly where he is, but they know that trees have been knocked down, so they're probably making guesses based on that. Well, the T-52 was actually designed by the engineers, and they took it out to fight in the defense of Leningrad during the siege, and after it got damaged they'd then take it back to the factory, fix it, and then take it out the next day for more attacks on the enemy. It actually was quite helpful that the crews, the people who were manning the craft, were the engineers, because then they knew exactly how to fix things and to make them better so they didn't have a problem in the future. If there was something specifically wrong with the vehicle, then they could change that just with a few mechanical alterations. Sadly, there's no history as to what actually happened to the T-52. It probably was lost in combat because it wasn't around after the siege of Leningrad was lifted. So presumably the engineers were killed as well. Which is sad really, because it's quite an interesting tank. It's very top heavy though, a very high centre of gravity. As I said at the start, if you turn a corner too quickly in this thing, you're going to flip over easily. So no fast turns, but it is a fast little tank. 65 kilometers an hour top speed. And with that 57mm gun, it can do a lot of damage to the enemy. It's got decent penetration, which is why Sly's only taken out armor piercing rounds. He doesn't need anything else. He's maximising the amount of money he can get by doing that. And with 118mm of penetration, he's only going to have trouble with some of the tanks. Now, he was actually aiming his reticule at that Thunderbolt, and he was getting a green image, which tended to indicate that that Thunderbolt had heavier armour than he could penetrate. Saw a little bullet symbol appear. Oh, T-34-85 has... Or is he still... No, that's a wreck from before. I thought for a second that guy had been killed. Now you can go to these heights over the river in Sand River. It's very effective for getting sightings on the enemy, but it is very dangerous because if the enemy gets too close, then they will automatically spot you. That Thunderbolt is 155 meters away. Auto detection's at 50 meters. Okay, we've got an enemy Type 64 coming down above the cap area. Unfortunately, we just lost our Type 64 to that Thunderbolt. We are one tank up on the enemy at the moment. And by staying in this position, he's giving good all-round vision to most of his teammates. You can see there aren't many areas of the mini-map that he can't cover. Only the far north, really. He is watching the sand dunes to the south, although he can't see in the far southwest corner where the enemy tanks might be forming up. It is quite an open position, you might say, but and if you do knock trees down, as Sly did, then it will give away your spot to the enemy, or give away your position, only if they can work out exactly which bush you're in. There's plenty of bushes around here, and so it's easy to hide in any one of them, so long as there's not an enemy more than closer than 50 meters. Okay, well, he's turned himself around again because he might want to go in that direction. Well, he's firing at the Type 64, and he's supposing that there's nobody watching him as he's firing. A tank that fires actually creates great clouds of smoke and a flash of flame that comes out at the end of the barrel, and if an enemy tank was close enough and they saw that, such as maybe the Thunderbolt, then he could be in danger. Well, he's decided to come out of his hole, and he's now going looking for the enemy. Remember that T-34-85? Here he is. Okay, now he's going to deal with this guy. He can easily pen it. Oh, he got tracked. Now he's in trouble. He's fixed it, but he just got stunned by Arty. But he takes out the T-34-85. So he has taken some damage, and he's driving erratically now to throw off any Arty shell that was aimed at him. Oh, and the Nashorn just tried to nail him from some distance away. He's way over there, that Nashorn. And the Nashorn's now starting to receive fire. Sly's getting close enough to actually spot the Nashorn. If he fires, he will give away his position. And he's just spotted an ARL D39. And ooh, he's not looking this way. Bad news for the ARL because his gun's at the pointy end, and he's just been taken out by our SU-100. So that's good news for his team because he's just looked for and found an enemy target which his teammates can destroy, and that's the job of a light tank. Now there's another T-34-85 somewhere around here. It's just hunting for them at the moment. 3,580 hit points of spotting assist recorded. And in fact, there looks to be very, very sore remarks from the Type 64 driver, who obviously thinks that the team should lose now that he was wiped out. Yes, I think that's not very kind of him, but there again, I suppose some people, if they're out the game early, do think, well, it's not my fault, it must have been the team that did it. Well, we've been around the north and he's not there. Oh, he tried to turn too fast there again. It's so easy to flip this thing over, and it's very difficult to get a team to come and flip you back upright again if you do. Many's the time I've seen somebody flipped over and nobody comes to their rescue. I was in a light tank once and I managed to flip it and nobody came to my rescue, and I sat there and I was the last person alive on the in the battle, and eventually the enemy found me and they put me to sleep. So yeah, it can be so embarrassing as well when you're the last person alive by virtue of the fact that you were on your side and they couldn't see you, they couldn't find you. And he's found the Hummel. Okay, so he's found the Arty, and that means he's got a scout medal as well, funnily enough. So he's spotted. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Try to watch where you're driving there. Okay, he's decided to take them out with fire. Got one hit into the Hummel. Now just let the ground settle. Okay, he's going to have to get closer now because he lost sight of them momentarily. And it could be that they've moved. So if he pops up here, remember there's a Nashorn around. Oh, and he's found them again. Okay. And he takes out the Hummel. Get the SU-8. Yes, he's got both, and that's the Pascucci's. There's that Thunderbolt. He's come back to his cap. They've only got 3 tanks left on the enemy team. Best thing to do for that one would be to try and penetrate the sides of the rear where there's no heavy armour. Bit difficult for him to do that at this range though. He's also worried about that Nashorn, who's still alive and probably still looking for him right now. He could take out the Nashorn first, but he's got to find him, and he doesn't really want to get hit because he might have an 88mm gun. Oh, he's driving around. He's very erratic sometimes. Mind you, there's lots of rocks that can easily flip this thing over. There goes the Thunderbolt, taken out by our SU-100. I just need to find the Nashorn. Somebody's firing at him, and I think that the Nashorn might be up on the heights. No, it's the T-34-85. And he's only got 4 hit points left. He's going down the other side. Well, where is that now? Oh, there's the Nashorn. It's the 88mm. He needs that guy to be out of action quickly. Ah, well, that's the reason why. You see that? You only need 2 shots with the Nashorn's 88 to take down most light tanks, because it's an 88. So we've now cycled through. We've got their own Nashorn. Oh, there's their own Thunderbolt. Well, he's much closer to the enemy cap. And the only tank he's got left to deal with is the T-34-85, and he's, well, very low on hit points, and he's clobbered by a Nashorn. We didn't see the kill, but it did happen off camera. So he didn't survive the game, but he did have a good game. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. Here's the end of battle results, and it was an ace tanker for SlyMeerkat in the T-50-2. He managed to get a spotter badge for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage, a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle, a Pascucci's medal because he killed both enemy Arty in this one. He got the Hummel and the SU-8, a scout medal for finding at least 9 enemy vehicles in this game. He managed to get 9 exactly, and a patrol duty for being the only one spotting 6 enemy tanks whilst they were damaged. Let's have a look at team score. Well, he didn't get a whole lot of damage in this game, only 906 hit points. The high scorer was the SU-100 with 2027, followed by the Nashorn with 1663. When it came to kills, he didn't get, well, he actually shared the top spot. Excuse me, my throat's going. The Nashorn, the SU-100, SlyMeerkat all managed to get 3 kills, and so did the Type 64 on the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, he's right at the top of the table because he did all that spotting. 1,509 base experience points to him. He's the only one over 1,000. 823 went to the SU-100, 744 went to the SU-8. He fired 18 rounds, got 15 direct hits and 12 penetrations, damage of 906 hit points, of which 393 were at more than 300 meters. He received 3 hits from the enemy, and all 3 were penetrations. The armor is very, very thin. It's only just under 40mm, 37mm on the hull all the way round, 52mm on the turret all the way round. So very thin armor, and just about anything that touches it is going to go through. He got splashed by the enemy Arty as he was retreating. 9 enemy vehicles were spotted, 6 enemy vehicles were damaged, 3 were killed, and 5,076 hit points of spotting assist in that game. A huge amount of spotting assist, and that accounts for his high XP. 31,057 credits for the game, and after ammunition resupply and repair, he took away a profit of 36,058 credits. He received 1,509 XP, times 5 for the first victory on this occasion. 679 for this being a premium vehicle, took away 11,999 experience points altogether. So that's a big boost to his crew skills, but with 3 marks on the barrel, I think his crews have probably got 5 or 6 or even 7 skills already. So Sly did very well, except for one big mistake he made at the end of the game, and I really realised that straight off, because that Nashorn, I drive Nashorns myself in terms of in the game. I played the Nashorn, and I know it's got an 88mm gun with a very fast reload. So really, when you know that the enemy's got a Nashorn available and he's near the cap area, he drove past the cap trying to get to the T-34-85, and that was a big error, because really he should have found out where the Nashorn was first and then called on his teammates to actually destroy it. And the way to do that was to go through the riverbed and get right underneath the Nashorn, so the Nashorn was proxy spotted but couldn't do anything about it, wouldn't be able to fire at him because he was so close, and just let the Arty take the Nashorn apart, and then he could go after the T-34-85. That was the big mistake, but obviously I think Sly realises that now. If you do know the enemy's got a good tank destroyer back at their cap, don't try to bluster your way past it, because with that 88mm and that fast reload, you are obviously going to go down very, very quickly with maybe just a couple of shots. So bad news for Sly at the end, but he did collect a lot of spotting by using the bushes on the north bank of Sand River. So you might want to think about that next time you're in a little light tank and you're on Sand River. Sit in the bushes for a while and see what you can spot, and you might get as much XP earned as Sly did. So if you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.